All right. Hi, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Yeah, this is
Healing for Pets and People with Ariel Hubbard and
Vicki Draper, and we are excited to be with you here today. And in a minute, Ariel's going to share, we're going to talk about setting yourself up for success and for you and your pets, because this is the time of year a lot of people make resolutions and resolutions don't stick. So we're going to give you tips on ways to create and set up successful ways for your life so they do stick and you do get the results you're in the life that you are really desiring. And so yes, Ariel Hubbard is at arielhubbard.com.
and
And
Vicki Draper is at healingyouranimal.com.
that's right. So we each work privately with people and teach classes. And then we're here the first Thursday of the month, 10 a.m. Pacific, giving you ways to improve your and your pets' lives together. So whether so we'd love for you to join in and give us your feedback and comments.
Watch us monthly. We
Right.
got lots of tools and ideas. Vicki,
Exactly.
Vicki and I have both been doing energy work for decades, and we've had a lot of really interesting experiences, whether it's working with animals or people from the other side or working with people that are with us in the living world. And when you're in the living world, it's all about making things concrete. It's taking your ideas and your dreams, which exist in the fourth dimension, and bringing them down in the third dimension, as in making them manifest physically. So, resolutions are usually an idea of something. It's like a vague idea. Oh, I want to lose weight. Oh, I want to save money. But they're not vague. I mean, they are vague. They're not concrete. And they're not always based on high self esteem. And when you're manifesting, you do not want to come from a place of low self esteem. Like, I'm not good enough and I need to be better. You want to come from a place of, I have the ability to make changes. I accept myself from where I'm at, and I want to make changes and improvements. I want to shift things, open things up in my life. So when we do goal setting, there's a formula. It's been around since 1981, and it is called the SMART formula. It's making goals specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time based. And we're going to talk about that a little bit more. So, Vicki, what's an example of a specific goal someone could have for their pet for 2024? Or you might want to have with your pets? What's a specific goal?
Well, if a lot of my clients love connection with their pets. And so ways to increase that connection. And so some of it may be giving, if you're a dog guardian, giving more consistent walks or giving more consistent playtime or even healthier food or things like that. And then with a cat, it could be more playtime, more cuddle time. Um, because our animals, the one thing they love is our presence and our connection. And um, and so then how do we carve out ways to do that with our pets? And that is so meaningful to them.
So specific would be like when I there's a guy, he's a courier. He doesn't live in my neighborhood. He drives a truck and he parks it in front of my house, and he gets out and he has his terrier or something with him. He's got his buddy, his mixed breed with him, and he gets out and throws that ball for like 15 minutes, and he does this almost every single day. Like it's like clockwork. That's specific.
It is specific, and our
Yep.
animals love routines. And
Good
so,
point.
so yes, and if you get them in a routine, they're going to let you know if you deviate. So, um,
So
and
that's a really good point, right?
yeah, and so I will share one of mine that I have one kitty Sapphire who her fur I really have to comb or it mats. And my other kitty, even though they're siblings, I don't have to do anything. With him, his fur is a whole different consistency. Well, it used to be when I'd bring out the grooming comb, she would run. And now, just slowly, I just would show it to her and then I'd put it down. We've gradually now gotten to where she's in my lap purring and I am brushing or combing her.
Wow.
And she's, like I said, she's there and she's purring. And so it didn't happen overnight, but it was my intention or my goal to get there. And so I just took little steps each day and we got there.
So the after the S is the M measurable, so specific steps. So Vicki, you probably like the specific step is putting out the comb or showing it to her. That's a specific step.
Yeah, she'd be in my lap and I'd show it to her, and then I'd put it down. So then she's like, okay, I'm not freaking. And then I would just touch her with it. And she's like, oh, okay,
Mm-hmm.
this is okay. And then I'd
Uh-huh.
start brushing her. And what the difference is I was opening my heart and had, because animals really respond to the heart chakra opening. And so opening my heart and just embracing love with her and a connection. And so when I started combing her, and I would just tell her, it's like, oh, you're so beautiful. You're so beautiful anyway, but this is just, look at how shiny this is helping your fur show. Just connecting,
Uh-huh.
really sending that love. And like I said, now she just purrs and she can't, if I, I can't miss because now she comes and she jumps in my lap demanding it. And it's so funny.
That's
Like,
great.
it's our time now. And I love that I have that daily connection with her and I have a different daily connection with spirit, and so that's the key is be nice to yourself because you don't just say it and it just happens.
It
It's the
has to be
process,
achievable. It has to
right?
be achievable
It
too,
will
right?
it may not seem achievable because I didn't know that Sapphire would ever really get to where we are. However,
Uh-huh.
I guess I believed it was achievable on some
Yeah.
levels.
Yep. Yep.
and and then just take the steps and let go of the attachments. Like this is my step today, and I'm putting energy into it.
Yep. So it needs to be relevant. So and for that, it's relevant for your cat, and then it needs to be time based. And you set a specific time when you were going to do this. So for humans, let's say a better self care is a goal. So a specific goal for self care would be I'm going to get a healing session once a month because I need to manage my stress level, and it needs to be measurable. Okay. So I know basically if I get it done, that's measurable. I achieved that step. Achievable, that means people need to make sure that they have the time and the money to do the session. Relevant, is it relevant? Yeah, because they need to manage their stress levels, like their doctors told them that they got to get their stress levels down. And then time based is they're putting in their calendar. So whenever you set a goal for something, you have to schedule it in your calendar. So let me give you a different goal. If you are trying to create, let's say you're trying to build your business as an example. A specific goal for that would be you want to build your business and bring in say X, like say $5,000 a month income as an example. And that's specific and it's measurable because you know exactly when you're going to be able to achieve that. And then you write down the steps you're going to take to achieve that. How are you going to manifest $5,000 a month? And then are those steps relevant to your goals in your life, your goals and your values? I mean, sorry, my bad. Goals are expression or extension or manifestation of your values. So like if you're doing something that's important, that's meaningful and gives you purpose, that's relevant. And then time based, you have to put the steps to take to achieve that in your calendar. Putting on a to-do list doesn't mean anything. It doesn't, because people ignore their to-do lists. If you put it in your calendar and you schedule an appointment with clients or potential clients, or you schedule like an appointment with yourself for your self-care, that's in your calendar. And then you do what you say you're going to do, which is you show up for that appointment. Then this thing is going to show up. And Vicki and I have both spent a lot of years working with manifesting. And we some pretty incredible things have shown up in our lives. And we have also worked with people who have also manifested incredible things. So the stuff we're saying, it's not just something that we made up. It's pretty consistent. If you look at other coaches and other teachers, they're going to talk about this too. This idea, the SMART goals idea, it's been around since 1981. It's out there. You're going to see this. So for you, what you want to think about is what are you going to create this year? So and while you're going to think about it, we're going to talk about our personal goals this year too, because that's kind of fun. I know, right? So Vicki, what goals do you have for this year? What do you got?
Ha ha ha. Well, my goal, I have a word for the year and it's called success. and I am successful. I don't always allow myself to fully embody that.
Ah,
And so that is my goal this year, is to really embody and celebrate me in my life. And success to me, it's not just financial. And so I have actually, well, I can't show it. I've created a sign with it. It says success 2024. In one quadrant, it's got play, because it's like my
uh-huh,
self-care, my play, my
uh-huh.
exercise, and to keep that regular. And because one of the things I do is indoor rock climbing. I love it. And so that's on my calendar twice a week.
Yep.
And then I have the one quadrant of health, because my health and being healthy is success to me. And then also, yes, financially, because financial stability, decreases stress. It allows more freedom in life. And then I have a love. So that's self-love and love of others. Then I have a spiritual quadrant where I'm aligned with the divine and my well, my divinity, and the spiritual part of my life. And so
Yeah.
these are things that are all valuable to me. And so yes, so that's and so I have it posted on my office wall, in my kitchen, and on my bathroom mirror.
So she can see it. So she
So
can
I
see
can
it.
see
So it's
it,
a
and I
reminder.
can exactly, and I can allow myself to go, oh yes, that I am successful, and that was a great thing that happened today, and happy that it's, showing up.
So she's also talking about reviewing, like consistent review, because when part of being successful is acknowledging it. And so one of those things that's really important is like, what did I do today? What did I accomplish today? And just thinking about it and having either gratitude or some kind of basically dopamine release because you achieved that goal. Because that's part of success is letting yourself feel it. It's really important. So I'm really glad that you're doing that. And that's
Yeah.
awesome. So yeah, you could divide it in quadrants. So I do mine by regular goals, ambitious goals, and crazy goals. That's how I do mine. And I have like certain numbers that I want to achieve in terms of income. I have like experiences that I want to have, like certain travel or spending time with friends or um, like cultural things, like getting to concerts or museums or do something like that. So I have different categories for those three different levels. And so I have, like I said, I have crazy goals. They're not something I would necessarily reach in 1 year, but I might reach over five.
Mhm.
Um, and by the way, just putting this out there, you know how most of us say we want to be a millionaire? If you look, the almost every person out there who works a 30-year career or longer has manifested more than $1 million. And
I,
everybody needs to remember that because I don't think people realize if they added up their income over a period, they've achieved that. And I will say that that's something we need to remember. So then, are you working on your second million, your third million? Like, what are you what are you working on? Because people do measure a lot of success through money, and like you said, there are different types of success, right? There, like you said, there's love, there's health, there's relationships, like love, there's fun. That's important. There's also work goals, there's spiritual goals, there's environment, having a nice environment that you live in. There's
mhm.
a tool, it's called the Wheel of Life. You guys can look it up, it's online. That's a way you can rate where you are in your life, and you can do it on a daily basis. So you can look at it and go, is this working for me? And then you can also look, there's also a focus wheel, which is another great tool that you can use, especially for weekly goals. So those are things that you could do for yourself as a human being. And then for pets, like what are good goals for pet owners to think about? I like the connection one.
Yes. And then,
Uh-huh.
um, like I said, for dogs, um, they thrive with regular exercise. So
Uh-huh.
just having a yard and putting them out there, you really need to be doing walks with them.
Yeah.
Um, and so that's another connection thing, because then you're doing it together. You're healthier because you're getting a little
I,
exercise.
I saw Hubbard jogging. And her German Shepherd actually looked tired. And I've never seen that. Usually the dog is pulling the person when they're
Yeah,
running.
yeah.
And this time she was running and he's like, he's like, oh my God, do we have to do this again?
Yeah. And then for for cats to get exercise, because cats by nature sleep a lot more. And so, bring out the wand toys, bring out the toys to play with them, have that shared connection time.
I saw
And
some crazy toys on Facebook. There was one that looks like, I don't know if you've ever seen those old wooden toy. They're like a snake that has little segments and it's wood, but this looked like that, but it was motorized. So it was like slithering around the floor, the cat's going nuts. And then I saw the cat grooming tool that has like a steamer in it. And it has like a steamer and it's like a little hand tool. And it was a Persian, and they're combing the cat, and all this fur came off. The cat's like, ugh, yes, I love this. But that's a goal, like having some fun toys, having some cool grooming tools, using them like a certain
well,
time, certain day,
yes. And then, so
right?
anything that's in your mind that you're going, oh, I really, if you're putting yourself down that you're not doing something that you want to be doing with your pet, um, and like one of mine is really being intentional and carving out the connecting time. And so I'm getting a lot better at that. But it's what your heart's going to tell you. It's like, oh, I really need to be doing this. That's where you stop and go, how can I? What are the steps? How can I get that? Because that's going to fulfill your heart. It's going to fulfill theirs. And it can be, um, if you're wanting to do better with their food, because healthy food has healthier, kitties and dogs. Maybe increasing, uh, and if it's financial constraints, having the treat once a week or something that's a little healthier than what you're doing. And there's always ways to add in and it work to help you with your goals of taking the best care of your pets.
Yeah, for sure.
And then I
And,
do have
and,
people, and I do teach. So I do teach. I have an animal communication class coming up, and I have people reach out going, "Oh, this was on my list for this year. I'm so glad." So if you're wanting more connection or more understanding, then that's something you can do is take a class to
yeah, so if
further
people
that.
wanted to have better communication with their pets, they could take your animal communication class,
Yes.
right? And for me, if if people wanted to, they have health issues and they want to feel better, they could take a Reiki class. I could teach people how to Reiki themselves so that they can give themselves treatments. As an example, those are other things. If people want to read more, they could read your books that you have over your shoulder there. And Vicky's books are very good. There's a lot of details, a lot of practical tips. Really helpful for working with your animal and having a more spiritual connection with them and a better like relationship, I think. So if you guys have reading goals, that's one way to work with them. Um, if you have goals to like for I have an empath empowerment class, sometimes people come to me and they're hypersensitive to other people's energy and they think that other people's energy is the problem. And they're actually I have to teach them that they get to control and regulate what they're experiencing with other people and that they have the power to control that and not other people's energy but how they experience other people's energy. So that's a tool. That empath empowerment is a tool that they can use, that class, to feel better when they're around other people because not everybody has good energy. It's true, but just because we're sensitive doesn't mean that we have to feel it, process it, hold it, deal with it. That's not our job, but a lot of empaths subconsciously think it is, and
Yeah.
some of it is a mindset change
Some
for
of that is
people.
a mindset change, and some of it is not even knowing it's happening or
That's
not
true.
even realizing it. I mean, I worked for
Yes.
years in corporate America and I was anxiety ridden, and I didn't realize it wasn't even mine,
Yes.
you know? And it's like, oh my gosh. And so, yeah, now setting the energetic boundaries And
Absolutely.
knowing is like, oh, wait a minute, that I may be carrying something that's not even mine, then that's not okay. I'm not agreeing to that anymore.
Exactly. Exactly. And so if your goal is to keep your energetic balance or have your pet be balanced, you could also reach out to us and we can help you with that for
Yes,
this year. We can
yes,
totally help you with that. And some people have spiritual goals. They want to realize that there's a higher level of consciousness in existence. People, I think working with your pets and having a spiritual connection with your pet is one way to do that. And there are other ways working with energy will help you realize that there's a higher level of existence that's, you know, transcending. And I haven't talked about my goals personally.
that's
My,
right.
I
What are
guess my word,
yours?
it's not one word. It's called transcending limitations. That's my phrase for the year. And I definitely am interested in expanding ways to connect with people and offerings for people this year. So I'm going to be doing more online classes. I've already added several, like three more online classes. And then I also have a lot more classes that I haven't taught in a long time, massage classes for the massage therapists out there. And then I also, I'm going to just be working with expanding my reach out there. So those are my personal ones. But I think it's good for us to talk about it. So for our listeners, what are your goals? Like you've heard Vicki, she has them in quadrants. I have them in like reg, regular, ambitious, and crazy goals. How do you, our listeners or viewers, how do you organize your goals? Do you have like, do you have some people do short term, medium term, and long term goals? Some people do it that way. And then they break down the goals into action steps for how they're going to reach them. Some people do the top of the mountain visualization where they visualize going to their rocks that they step on to go up a mountain, and then they look back at the top, their goal, and then they look at and name what those rocks were that got them to where they are. And that's a really powerful one too. I use that one a lot. And then also, you guys can also do sessions with us to help you get clear about what your goals are for your animal. Like Vicki, I'm sure you've helped pet owners like either develop treatment plans or address their goals for their pets, especially if they're dealing with health issues and
Oh,
things like that. Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Because a lot of times, like I said, people want to do the best for them and they don't know what that is or how to.
Yes.
And so then we connect and I hear their goals and
Uh-huh.
we get a plan together. And
Yep.
yes, absolutely. And
Yeah.
so it's interesting that we're in alignment because my success and my connections, that is all about me serving more, stepping bigger into my purpose. And because my connections are clients and, those supports as well as personal connections and friends
Hmm.
and that kind of thing. Um, so yes. So it sounds like Ariel and I, we are ready. So come see us.
We're happy to help.
We are.
Woohoo! And also, if you aren't familiar with us, we both work in person and long distance.
Yeah.
So if you're in another state, you're in another country, we can help you.
Yes.
So that's not a problem. I regularly travel to California and teach and work there. And you travel also, Vicki, and you do work in other places as well.
Yes. And
Yep. And
um
long distance. You've been doing long distance for a long time.
I
Yeah.
have.
Yeah.
Yep, I've
So
been working with people in other states and countries for years.
for years. Yeah. Yeah. So distance is not a problem, which is great.
That is great. That is great. And another method of what I guess I'm finally realizing is I love to be organized, and sometimes it's a little hard for me to figure out my way. And so listening to other people and how they do it and trying to make myself mold into that, I want to share and give this tip to our listeners that find your way, because there is
Yeah.
no one golden way. It's the way that you're going to do it and it's going to work for you.
Uh-huh. And it's not necessarily at the first of the year. So like I had some goal things percolate in like last October. There I got this like oh, I should try this for next year. And then I got some stuff in November, and then I got some stuff in December, and I have some stuff that I haven't gotten yet that I feel is going to come in. So I get it. I do get it intuitively. Like I'll feel like, oh, this is an area that's missing. Oh, here's what we can do about it. You should put that on your goal list because it's like, oh, this thing came in. And I keep like a goal list. You can write them down. You could also say them. You could put it in your phone. You could put it voice record on your phone. You could do that too. And you could tell other people. You could do a vision board. You could do that too,
Yeah,
right?
there's many ways to capture. And then instead of even making it a whole year, you can do it in chunks. You could even do it a month at a time or a quarter at a time or even what 2 months at a, whatever is going to be
Yes.
where, because like when you're driving your car at night and you've got the headlights, you can only see so far, even though there's a lot
Yeah.
out. So
Yeah.
keep it within your scope of what you can do so it's not overwhelming.
Right. Because this is not something, and I know there are people they can plan multiple years in advance. Some of those people they have extraordinary executive functioning skills, and that's the prefrontal cortex. Not everybody functions that way, and that's okay.
Well, and then life doesn't always function that way. Like we
No.
make our plans and things change. And so, as Ariel was saying intuitively, we both listen to that. And so it's like I outline roughly my year and what I think I'm going to be doing, but the universe
Right.
sometimes shifts that course because what's needed, what's relevant, and so basically, it's hmm,
Be
goals are there, but,
flexible.
but
Be
they
flexible.
exactly that's it because we can shift and it's still attaining the overall intention and it may just be executed a little differently than what we originally planned.
And that's so true. And sometimes the essence of what you want, it just comes to you like in a different shape or different person or in a different timeline. So also I'm going to remind people to give up your grumpiness about it not showing up the way you think it should. Because that's attachment and that energy of attachment is not productive. So if you're mad that like you didn't earn $5,000 that month, but you earn 8,000 the next month,
Yeah.
the human beings are very short-sighted, extremely short-sighted. They get mad about the littlest things and they get mad about stuff and they miss the big picture. So try to zoom out and look at the big picture if you can, you know?
Yes,
Yeah.
because that's
Yeah.
that's the key there is
Yeah.
to take time to zoom out because
Yeah.
that's where we go, oh, I asked for this. Oh, this is how the universe gave it to me. It looks different than what I thought, but I got it. you know?
Oh, exactly. And that little pithy piece of advice I gave, that took me like 25 years to learn that. So
Exactly.
I think I mean I get that it sounds easy, but that was like 25 years of being a grumposaurus about stuff.
Yes. Yes. We're imparting wisdom from our hard knocks or our life's paths so that it can help smooth yours.
And my last piece of advice is have your goals, but realize that I would always add a plus sign to it. So like if you say 5,000 a month, say plus, or if you want 30 new friends, say plus, or if you like want to meet somebody great, just say plus, because sometimes the universe will bring you things in a way or shape or person that you weren't expecting. And you have to look at the essence of what you said you wanted to recognize that you're actually meeting your goals sometimes. So, but it is important to acknowledge that you have met your goals. And that's like Vicki was saying early on. And it's very important because it helps to close the energy out and it helps the universe recognize that you recognize and validate what it was sending to you in response to your thoughts and feelings. And also, one other thing, sometimes your like random thoughts when you're driving down the freeway at night, that's what shows up. When I just went on a retreat in California and I would think of I was like, I wonder if my smoke alarm works in my new place. Someone set off the smoke alarm like 2 days later. It only took 2 days. And I'm like, wow, that answered that question. I mean, like sometimes when you're not stressed and you're not in your left brain dominance, you're just sort of daydreaming, try to pay attention to that, because those little things that kind of emanate out from you, a lot of times that stuff manifests very quickly because there's no resistance to it. You don't have resistance because it just sort of floated through. It could be you're thinking about a person, thinking about a song, thinking about something you wish you'd like to experience, and then like somebody gives you tickets to a show. Like, and it can happen rather quickly. So try to pay attention and be aware of when it's showing up because it's pretty powerful.
Yeah. So um yeah,
So
that's the big tip is stay get out of your head. Because
in your heart,
in your heart and be open and yeah, and then
enjoy.
exactly enjoy the ride because um
It's fun.
we have support. We have the
We
unseen support and it is real and if we allow it.
absolutely. So how can people reach you again, Vicki?
Okay, the best way is go to healingyouranimal.com. And on there, I offer a free assessment and you can sign up from the homepage. Also, on healingyouranimal.com, that's the place to go because it shares my classes. It shares
Your books, your
my
sprays,
books,
right?
my essences. It also, you can sign up for my newsletter that I give
Mhm.
like tips on and
Also on the media tab is those are prior episodes of our show. They're on there too. And on your YouTube channel also, right?
yes, and so for my social media on the homepage, there are icons, and you can click those and get to. Because yes, on YouTube, I post our episodes and more. And
And
so,
more. Yeah, you have your own podcast also. So like there's you have all kinds of good stuff.
well, and then once a month, I'm doing a live animal communication class with a dog, a Bouvier dog named Min, and that's always well, it's always unknown. It's live and raw and in the moment, and it's always interesting that because the messages are relevant for others, not just her. So it's anyway, it's fun. They're on there too.
That's awesome.
So
And
how about you, Ariel? Yes.
you can reach me at arielhubbard.com. You can also find me at Facebook at Ariel Hubbard, and you can also find me on Instagram at Ariel Hubbard. And I have a YouTube page as well where you can see videos from classes I teach and other things that I offer. And so, yeah, there are ways to reach us, ways to connect. And we would love to connect with you in 2024. So, thanks for being with us today.
That's right. It's a joy and happy new year and
We'll see you next month.
next month.
Woohoo. Bye, everybody. Thanks so
Bye.
much.